Hey guys, it's Julie with Julie's Designs. This is another Thrift to Treasure video where I take 4 items and upcycle them for resale. If these are the kind of videos you like, I have over 15 of these videos already. So make sure you subscribe and check out the playlist if you haven't seen all of my videos like this. So this week we're going to be working on just a few different things. Some stuff I thrifted, some stuff I just picked up and want to try. So I was shopping around Walmart and I saw these placemats. Y'all, look how cute these are. So they have different sayings. So this one says peace, this one says joy, and this one says, this one's my favorite, it says merry and bright. These are totally my style. As you can see, my style always leans towards country for Christmas. I don't know, that's just always what it ends up being. And I have no need for placemats. Like, I can't set a table. That stuff would end up all over my house. But I saw that these were lined already. So it has 2 sides. So we're gonna make this into a cute little pillow. How cute is that gonna be? You won't have to sew. It's gonna be super easy. All right, that's gonna be an easy project. And then, so a few weeks ago on my Thrift to Treasure, I made those cute little Christmas tree pillows using mop heads from Dollar Tree. Well, I didn't know how many mop heads I needed, so I bought a whole bunch. I ended up having 2 extra, and I was thinking, what if I made some cute trees to add to my decor, and you know, the pillows would tie in to the trees. So look what I found at Dollar Tree. I was going to get some poster board to do this, and then I found this like in the gardening section of the Dollar Tree. So I totally scooped these up. So y'all go, they just came out, I think, with all their spring stuff, because I saw they started putting their spring stuff. So y'all go scoop these up to either use now or for next year. So we're gonna do something with that. And then in the Julie's Designs and Signs Facebook group, if y'all are not a part of that, make sure you go in the description and follow the link to join. So what we do in that group is people share stuff that they've made, that they've been inspired by in my videos, or they just share smalls. It's mostly smalls in the group, not a whole lot of furniture and things like that. So it's super fun just to see what everybody comes up with. So this one lady, she had the crockery stamps that I love using. And if you've ever tried to stamp on a round surface, it is not easy. So she stamped on tissue paper and then Mod Podged it onto those little cardboard things, those little cups that you put plants in to sprout them and stuff like that. They were so cute. I don't have any pots like that, and so I just looked around the house for something I did have. I did have one of these cups, pots. I believe they originally came from the Dollar Tree, but this is what I have. And I challenge you to also just look around your house and see what you have before you go out and buy something new, because sometimes it inspires you and really forces you to be creative, just using the stuff you have around your house instead of going out and buying exactly what you think you need for this project. So we're gonna see if this works out on this bucket. And then last week, if you watched my Thrift to Treasure, this tray defeated me. And I'm not gonna lie, I threw it in a garbage can and I was over it. And then the next day, I went to get out of the garbage can because I couldn't throw it away. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna figure it out. So most of y'all tips and suggestions I actually tried before I gave up. I just think because there's so many round surfaces here, I just couldn't get it right. And also the other one, it went straight, so it was easy to trace and figure out, whereas this one isn't like that. So I have another idea for this, and we're gonna try it out, and I'm gonna win this time. Okay, and also if you are waiting to find out what I do with all the stuff from my last estate sale haul, if you haven't watched that video, make sure you go check it out. That is going to be on the next Thrift to Treasure. I'm gonna pick items just from that haul, so y'all stay tuned for that. You're gonna need a seam ripper for this project, which is something you should have in your craft kit anyway. along with some fabric scissors. These are two things that I use all the time. And then you're going to pick a spot on your pillow to rip the seam. I decided to do the bottom, and you just want to rip a hole big enough to fit your hand in. The two layers of this placemat is stuck together, so it took a little elbow grease to pull it apart. But once you get it started, it went pretty fast, and I was able to get it apart pretty quickly. And then what I like to use for all my stuffing is I just get the $3 pillows from Walmart. One pillow goes a long way, and I was able to stuff all three placemats with just one pillow. Now for $3, I think these came out really cute just to put around my house. I don't know if they're high end enough for resale, but I liked them and I put them around my house. And then once your pillow is stuffed, you're just going to take some hot glue and you're going to close up that seam that you created to stuff the pillow. For this project, we're using the mop heads from the Dollar Tree, and all you have to do is pull them apart. Now, these trees ended up taking more mop heads than I thought they would. For this particular style, it took 2 mop heads to do this tree. So all I'm doing is laying the layers of yarn over the little bars that are in the tree, and then I'm gluing them. And now I'm cutting the bottom just so I could have like a cleaner area to work with. And you're just going to continue to lay them over the little bars that are going through the wire tree. And then I went ahead and I glued the pieces to all the wires that were showing, so that way they wouldn't, that the green wouldn't show through. You could also paint the tree white before you started, like the wire white before you get started, but I didn't do that. And then once you get to the top, you're just going to take your pieces of yarn and fold them in half and just hot glue them around the wire that is showing. Now, to top it off, I decided to use this little bow. It is from Walmart, but I don't like the gold that comes with it, so I'm just putting some twine around it, and then I'm tying it to the top of the tree. Now, I thought it was like a little too shaggy looking for me once it was done, so what I did was I started pulling apart the pieces of yarn. So there's actually like 4 small pieces of yarn within the bigger piece of yarn, and when you pull it, it kind of curls, and that really created more volume and texture in the tree, and I think it really looked much better when I did this. For the next tree, we're going to create some pom-poms. So you're going to take 5 strings, cut it in about 2-inch pieces, and then you're going to take another string, pull it apart, and then use that to tie it together. And then you're going to take your pom-poms and just start gluing it onto the wire of your tree. Now, I ended up using the 2 extra mop heads I had for the other tree, so I had to go back to the Dollar Tree and get more mop heads. Of course, they didn't have the ones in the color that I had previously got, so this tree is going to be a little bit darker, but that's okay. I have no problem mixing neutrals. And you're just going to work your way around the tree hot gluing. Once again, it took way more pom-poms than I thought it would. So I made 2 mop heads of pom-poms, and that was not enough. Like, I think you need at least 3 or 4 to do this. I am not going back to the Dollar Tree, so the back of this tree will just be empty. And we're going to call this project done once I put a bow on the top. first thing I need to do is paint the bucket white. So I'm using my baking soda and paint mixture because I feel like I could kill two birds with one stone here. I'm going to add texture to this piece along with painting it white. I would say the mixture is about half baking soda, half paint. I'm personally using chalk paint, but I've seen many people do it with many different kinds of paint. So the person that shared this with my Facebook group is Beverly, and you can see she used these little textured cups, and that's why I wanted to add some textures. How cute did these things come out? They are absolutely adorable. Next, I'm going to cut some tissue paper to the size that I need, and then I'm going to take my crockery stamp. I absolutely love these stamps. I ordered them from Jamie Ray Vintage, and I'll put the link below. You're just going to put it on an ink pad and put it on your tissue paper. I'm using the Marmalade stamp. This is like one of my favorite ones. I've used this one a lot of times, and it's one of the bigger stamps on this collection. And then you're going to take your Mod Podge. I buy it by the gallon, and then I pour it out into a cup, and you're just going to put your Mod Podge over your surface, and then you're just going to put your tissue paper down. Now you can move it a little bit right at first, but you want to try to get it as perfect as possible. And then you're going to put the Mod Podge over it. So this kind of like seals it as well. So once you put the Mod Podge over it, this is done. I absolutely love the way that this came out. It was so easy. And now I'm thinking like to try different colors. Like what if I would have painted the pot gray and then put the white tissue paper over? How would that look? Or if I did like a red with white over it. So I think it would be cool to experiment with different things, maybe different color tissue papers. If y'all do this, please share it in the Facebook group. I really want to know how this turned out and what y'all tried this on. I want to create a top for this piece, and luckily I had a piece of wood that was the exact size I needed laying around the shop. So I'm just marking off where I need to cut the length. And then on my table saw, I'm going to go ahead and quickly cut the piece to the perfect size that I need. Next, I'm just going to sand the piece, and I want to round out the edges, but I just want to slightly round them out, so I'm just using my sander instead of my jigsaw. A high grit sandpaper is a great way to round out edges if you don't want to break out the jigsaw. I'm going to paint and distress the pieces separately before I put them together. I'm just using my paint sprayer from Harbor Freight and white chalk paint to spray the pieces. And then once it's dry, I'm ready to distress it. I'm just using my orbital sander to distress the wood top. And then to distress the tarnished silver tray, I'm going to use a combination of sandpaper. You want to very lightly sand it, just makes it a little bit quicker. And then you want to go back with a wet towel and just lightly wipe it off. This piece is easy to sand, so you don't want to press too hard. And then I'm going to attach the wood to the tray using Gorilla Clear Grip, and then I'm going to seal it with Rust-Oleum Matte Clear Enamel. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and please comment below. Let me know what was your favorite project that I worked on today.
Thanks for watching, and give this video a big